Hey guys, happy Friday and welcome to another episode of Day in the Life of Vintage Classic Specialist. Let me start off real quick by talking about what's going on here. So freshly rebuilt transmission just came in literally half an hour ago for the yellow 71 Ghia. So yeah, this thing apparently was had some pretty serious issues on the inside. So despite the fact that it leaked really bad, beyond that, it really needed to be rebuilt. Apparently, the shift forks were kind of busted, and so it may or may not have shifted okay, but at some point it probably would have got stuck in gear or stuck between gears or something. It probably would not have gone well. So it's actually a really good thing. So our transmission guy, he puts in always brand new synchros. Those things wear out. It's just not worth bothering with used ones. New bearings, of course. The gears, the ring and pinion, and first through fourth and reverse, the gears were all fine. But new bearings, new synchros, new shift forks, and these were trash, and other odds and ends, new seal back here, of course, stuff like that. New seals on the drive outputs, but yeah, so pretty much essentially a brand new transmission. And what I forgot to show yesterday, which I did yesterday, was actually go through the starter. So I went and cleaned it up, tested it out, seems to work fine. So I went ahead and painted it, got it all looking nice and new, and got all the gunk off it, so when I go to install it, it won't be gross like it was when I took it off. So yeah, these two are going to be best friends here before we know it. Got some parts in. Can't really count that as something I did other than place an order, but all new front and rear shocks from Wolfsburg West. We really like their shocks for stock cars. New steering damper. New mounting for the sway bar, which is something else I forgot to mention yesterday. I took the sway bar and cleaned it all and painted it, so it'll be ready to go back on too with new hardware. This is a new turn signal switch. The old one was kind of busted up on the inside and probably would not have worked very well. And then some various hardware here, nothing too exciting. So let's talk about the actual car itself. So still kind of focusing on the front end of this car, trying to get it ready to do the undercoating up underneath the fenders and the front suspension and so on. So one thing that I went ahead and did today was this car had a bunch of extra holes in it. And I think the car had an air conditioning system in it at some point. It still has some big holes in it, namely that one and this one that don't belong. But today what I was really focused on were the holes like the one that used to be there, there, and so on, that would be affected by doing the undercoating. So these two holes here, as well as this one here, those go to basically the under fender area, which is where I'm going to be doing the undercoating. These I'll fix them at a later date before we paint under here. But as far as just kind of focusing on the undercoating, you can see where I fix those there and there. And then there was a bunch of holes up underneath here under the kind of the back side of the fender well. I don't know if the current owner's dad had something mounted there. There was about 6 holes on each side, about in that same place. So went ahead and welded those closed too, just because those actually lead to inside the car. And so if the owner is driving the car in the future in the rain, water and gunk could get in those and into the cab of the car. So it just makes sense to go ahead and weld them closed. Once we texture this with the undercoating, no one will ever know they were there. So got those done. And likewise on this side, there was a random hole there that I think he had some wires or something running through it. The other thing was these later cars have this big charcoal canister here that's supposed to do I don't know what. I think clean gas vapor fumes or something. I don't know that they actually do anything, but this car is smog exempt, being a 71, so went ahead and kind of trimmed that bracket off. We're not going to put that thing in. It's just ugly, and there's no point in having it on this smog exempt car. Let me just show under here real quick. So yeah, kind of same deal, bunch of holes there, all filled in and ground down, and then likewise there's this one up here. So other than that, I pretty much went and Scotch-Brite, padded, and wire wheeled all under this side. So I think we're pretty much ready to start spraying the undercoating all up underneath the front of this car here. So as soon as that bus is out of the way, probably Monday when we get the suspension on it, then I'll put the front of this car on a jack so that it rolls, and we'll go ahead and roll it out into the parking lot and get it all masked off and go ahead and shoot the undercoating. So kind of exciting, been kind of working at that off and on here for a while. And then probably the next step will be to continue cleaning up the under front trunk area here so that we can paint it. I'm hoping to have the color matched paint in the next day or so, and so pretty much be ready to finish cleaning this area here up and paint here. So again, everything below the gas tank, so all this area here I'm pointing at, and everything is going to be undercoating, and then everything gas tank and up will be, well, not the gas tank will stay black, but everything in the engine, or excuse me, the front hood compartment here is going to be body color. So it's going to look really nice. And we'll get the underside of the hood too while we're at it. So I believe that is it for today. Lots of time welding and grinding, and some of those holes were, that big or so. So I had to actually make little metal plugs for them, and they had some curvature on them. So kind of try and shape them so they fit well, and little hammer and dolly work and so on to get them to where once they're painted over, hopefully they won't be noticeable. But that is it. So pretty productive day here, and got some shiny new parts to go on the car. So as soon as this thing starts going together, we've got a pretty massive and ever-growing pile of parts for the car. So should go together pretty quick once we're done, with this paint work and so on. So that is it for this week, guys. Hope everyone has a good weekend, and we'll see you all on Monday.